Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So we're at a time of the year where a lot of people are setting financial goals for themselves for the rest of the year. And that means cutting down on the budget, looking to see where you can save a little money. I know that's what we're doing. So for the remainder of this month, I am going to be cooking out of my pantry. So I will be doing a few videos showing how I am doing some very frugal, very budget-friendly meals and cooking out of my pantry. So just using up what I have here before I go heading out to that grocery store. I hope this inspires you going into the new year or wherever you are in your frugal journey. And I know it helps me to see other people and how they cook and where they can make a delicious meal without spending a lot of money. So this week, I will be preparing 5 budget-friendly meals. If seeing budget-friendly meals and frugal living is something that you are interested in, please make sure you hit subscribe, like this video, and I will attach my budget meal playlist at the end of this video. Go ahead, go on over there and take a look at some of those videos. I'm starting this week off making a lentil stew with rice. So I'm adding 4 cups of water and a veggie chicken bouillon cube. You can use whatever broth you have, or if you have bouillon, you can use that as well, but it's also not necessary. I am using this strictly for flavor, but using just water would be fine. To this, I'm adding 1 cup of lentils, 1/4 of an onion chopped, as well as 1 clove of garlic chopped. I cooked this over medium heat until it had a stew-like consistency. I then went ahead and cooked some rice. Unfortunately, my video camera did not capture that, but I added rice to this, and this was really delicious. Lentils are an amazing source of protein and potassium and fiber, so this makes a really healthy meal. On to meal 2, I am making a sweet potato hash with fava beans. Normally I would do this with black beans, but fava beans are what I had on hand. So I'm starting off by cutting up another 1/4 of my onion. I'm trying to make this onion last for the 5 meals. To that, I'm also cutting up 1 clove of garlic. Onion and garlic really adds a lot of flavor to any meal. So I go ahead and I add these to my frying pan, and then I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up my sweet potato in nice small chunks. I used 1 medium-sized sweet potato in this recipe, but if you have a bigger family, then you can definitely add more. This fed my family of 4. My daughter is always eager to help out in the kitchen and learn how to cook, which is always such a blessing for us. So I'm going to go ahead and add the sweet potato to my onion and my garlic. I'm also going to fry this up in water. I prefer not to use oil while I'm frying things, so I add about 1/3 cup of water here, and that just helps to steam the potatoes. I'm going to stir them often and cook them down until they're fork tender. So this takes about 10 to 15 minutes. I have some Swiss chard in my fridge that really needs to be used up, so I'm going to go ahead and chop this up and add it to this hash. While my sweet potatoes, onions, and garlic are cooking, I'm just going to open this can of fava beans. I'm going to drain it and rinse it, and then I'll add this and the Swiss chard to my hash to cook. So the potatoes have cooked until they're fork tender. So now I'm going to add in my beans and my Swiss chard, as well as a little bit more water just to help them cook and blend their flavors. You can add whatever seasonings you like here, garlic, onion, that would all be great. I'm just going to add a little bit of salt. This turned out really nice, was filling, full of protein and nutrients, and it was a family hit. Next, I'm going to do a very basic pasta dish. It's mainly pasta with tomato sauce, but I also wanted to add more flavor and some more vegetables into this dish. So now I'm going to cut up another quarter of my onion and half of the pepper that I have here. I'm going to get them in a frying pan and just saute them in a little bit of water. Now that my pasta water is boiling, I'm just going to break my spaghetti up and put it in the pot. As this pot is small, it also makes it easier for my kids to eat it that way. Once it's fully cooked, I'm just going to drain it, and then I'm going to get it all back in the pot. Once it's in the pot, I go ahead and I add my cooked peppers and onions to the pasta. To this mixture, I'm adding about a half a jar of my homemade tomato sauce. So this tomato sauce also has salt and basil in it, so it is flavored a bit more. If you just have regular tomato sauce, that works as well. So I just use enough to coat all the pasta. If you like your pasta nice and runny, then you can use the whole jar. So this is the finished product. I just added a little bit of basil on top for flavoring, but it was a nice, tasty, and very easy meal. The next meal I'm going to prepare are scrambled egg and Swiss chard burritos. So I'm just taking 6 eggs, cracking them into a bowl, and then I'm going to beat them with a little bit of water. So to this dish, I'm going to add up some more Swiss chard that really needs to be eaten up. You can add whatever vegetable that you have in your fridge that needs to be used. It's a very versatile dish in that regard. So I just add them straight into my egg mixture and stir them around and then get them into the frying pan. So I add this mixture to a frying pan with a little bit of water just to keep it from sticking and to avoid using extra oil. I cook these on medium heat, stirring constantly until the eggs and the Swiss chard are fully cooked. I have 2 wraps here that I'm going to use, so I'm just going to add the egg mixture to both of these wraps, and it makes an awesome filling meal. You can also add a little bit of cheese here, or some hot sauce, or avocado, or whatever else you have on hand. For me, I'm just going to do the egg mixture. Lastly, I'm going to get ready a veggie and lentil stir fry. Lentils are my absolute favorite legume. They're easy to cook and they add a lot of protein and fiber to a dish. So add them to any veggie dish and it really completes the meal. Here I'm just cutting up the last quarter of my onion and the other half of my pepper. These two I'll add to a frying pan with a little bit of water. Next, I'm just going to cut up probably a quarter of this red cabbage, dice it up into small pieces, and get it in the frying pan with my other vegetables. So again, I'm going to fry these vegetables up with a little bit of water instead of using oil. So here I'm just draining my lentils, and then I'm just going to give them a quick rinse before I get them in the pan. I just stir them to incorporate them in here. Here you could add whatever flavorings you want, any spices. I just added a little bit of salt. This was a delicious meal full of fiber and nutrients and held me over for a really long time. Well, that is it for the budget meals for this week. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, I will be putting out more of these meals as the month continues. So make sure you hit that bell to be notified when I do put out another video. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you guys next time.